Hello, everyone. Good evening. So, I hope I am visible to everyone. And I have come in front of you to respond to your hearing. Are you able to hear me? To respond. Okay. So, let us see. I will start with certain pointers. We will go to the reading, writing, grammar, and literature section after 5 or 10 minutes. However, I would like to talk about certain things that are very necessary and very important in order to take care while going for exam. We will start with uh, the admit card that you all have and the things which are mentioned in it. So the admit card carries the time to reach and the materials to carry. Please be very careful because every year I find 0.01% or 0.1% of students not allowed to get in order to take exams. वो कुछ ना कुछ गलती कर जाते हैं, तो मैं नहीं चाहूंगा कि आप में से कोई भी जरा भी गलती करे. ठीक है, तो ऐसा कीजिए, जल्दी जल्दी पेन पेपर उठाइए और नोट करना शुरू कीजिए जो जो मैं कहता हूं. एडमिट कार्ड एक लूज पाउच में, ट्रांसपेरेंट पाउच में, दो पेन, दो पेंसिल्स, एक शार्प की हुई, एक ब्लंट, एक इरेजर और एक रूलर, और सब्जेक्ट के हिसाब से आप जो लेना चाहें. और जो एडमिट कार्ड में मेंशन्ड है टाइम, उसमें है एक अराइवल टाइम और एक है एग्जाम स्टार्टिंग टाइम. तो इस स्टार्टिंग टाइम से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. यू हैव टू रीच द स्कूल एट द टाइम when you are it's like 9:30. The exam starts at 10:30. You should reach the center which is given to your admit card at 9:30. Make sure you do that, otherwise I don't know what is going to happen. Anyway, now you have got into the exam center. You're waiting for getting inside the exam hall, so you can relax there. Don't talk much because the things which are clear in your head might go away. So just chill मारो, आराम करो, इधर उधर घूमो, रिफ्रेश करो अपने आप को, स्ट्रेटेजाइज करो अपने आप को ऑन सर्टन थिंग्स लाइक टाइम मैनेजमेंट. आपको कब क्या करना है, कैसे करना है, right? Now you are in the exam hall and you get the OMR sheet. Now when we are talking about OMR sheet, it's very important. I would just like to say, when you get your OMR sheet, don't hurry at all. And if you are unable to fill any particular detail, or if you are confused with any particular detail, you will have your invigilators moving around. आपके लिए इन्विजिलेटर्स होंगे जो घूमते होंगे. आप उनसे पूछिए, अपना डाउट क्लियर कीजिए, उसके बाद ओएमआर शीट भरिए, क्योंकि एक बार अगर ओएमआर में गलती हो गई, देयर इज नो वे आउट. देयर इज नो करेक्शन इंक अलाउड, देयर इज नो इरेजर, देयर इज नो नथिंग. So if you have done a mistake, you'll have to be facing the consequences. तो OMR शीट बहुत ध्यान से भरेंगे. मैनेजमेंट, जो कि मैं सबसे पहले बात करूंगा. टाइम मैनेजमेंट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट, आपको 3 घंटे 15 मिनट मिलते हैं आपके पेपर के लिए. तो टाइम मैनेजमेंट का मतलब यह है कि आप हर एक आंसर को, हर एक पर्टिकुलर राइटिंग पीस को, हर एक रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन को एक प्रॉपर टाइम देंगे तो आपके लिए आसान होता जाएगा सब कुछ. तो आप अपने हिसाब से डिसाइड कर लें कि व्हेन आर यू गोइंग टू डू व्हाट. लेकिन एक चीज याद रखेंगे, व्हेन you will start the question paper, when you will read the entire question paper, तो आपको याद रखना है, वो सेक्शन उठाना है जो आपके लिए मक्खन है. जब आप क्वेश्चन देखेंगे, you will find maybe literature section, you have got questions which are up to your level, or maybe you see writing and grammar, you want to start with that. कहने का मतलब ये है कि जब एक इन्विजिलेटर, एक टीचर, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मी, मेरे सामने कोई पेपर आया करेक्शन के लिए और जो सबसे सामने है वो फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन है। तो अगर आपने कुछ ऐसा किया है जो आपको नहीं आता और वो कट हो रहा है, स्ट्राइक आउट हो रहा है, तो इन्विजिलेटर के माइंड में भी वो चलता है। तो प्लीज सी दैट कि आप फ्रंट पेज जो अपने आंसर का रखे वो एक ऐसे कंटेंट से रखे जो टिक हो, स्ट्राइक आउट नहीं। तो जिसमें आपको महारत है जो भी सेक्शन में, इट मे बी एनी सेक्शन। तो इफ यू हैव एनी स्पेसिफिक डाउट, जैसे कि कोई भी कौन सा सेक्शन पहले ले या कौन सा सेक्शन बाद में ले या सेक्शन के ही हिसाब से चलना है, तो इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। आप कोई भी सेक्शन उठा सकते हैं जिसमें आपको कंफर्टेबल है। यू मे स्टार्ट विथ राइटिंग एंड ग्रामर सेक्शन और यू मे स्टार्ट विथ लिटरेचर सेक्शन इवन, राइट, जिसमें आपको कॉन्फिडेंस है आप वो उठाइए। लेकिन ध्यान ये रखना है कि whatever is there in that particular section, you have to do them there only. If you have taken literature, do all the question answers of literature in a sequence there. Then you take another section and then you take another section. और हर section में यही है, हर section में आपको यही ध्यान रखना है कि क्वेश्चन आप आगे पीछे ना करें। क्वेश्चन की बात आई है तो एक और पॉइंट, क्वेश्चन नंबर लिखना ना भूले, राइट। आई विल टॉक अबाउट सर्टेन थिंग्स इन डूज एंड डोंट्स। फिलहाल हम एक एग्जाम ले रहे, टाइम मैनेज किया, सेक्शन अपने हिसाब से उठाया, जो सही है जिसमें हम कॉन्फिडेंट हैं वो उठाया, वो शुरू किया लिखना। नाउ जो पेज होगा आपका उसके लेफ्ट साइड में और राइट साइड में दोनों साइड मार्जिन छोड़ेंगे, लेफ्ट साइड राइट साइड दोनों साइड मार्जिन छोड़ेंगे, दैट्स द रूल। और जो नीचे वाली लाइन है, सपोज ये आंसर शीट की ये नीचे वाली लाइन है, नीचे लाइन के नीचे भी थोड़ा गैप होता है, उस गैप में बिल्कुल ना लिखें। कभी कभी होता है एक वर्ड बाकी है या दो वर्ड बाकी है, राइट, तो आप बिल्कुल भी उसके लाइन के नीचे नहीं लिखेंगे, दैट इज अ डिडक्शन ऑफ मार्क्स। सो क्वेश्चन नंबर देना जरूरी है, लाइन के नीचे नहीं लिखेंगे, राइट, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंटली ध्यान रखेंगे इस बात को। देयर आर सर्टेन कमेंट्स विच आई एम गेटिंग, पेपर लीकर I'm not bothered. I'm just here to help you, some of my students, so that at least you'll get some help. अभी मैं आपको लिटरेचर में भी कुछ एक चैप्टर्स है, क्वेश्चन इफ, अच्छा एक क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है, if the question comes from the chapter the trees, should we write the literal meaning or the symbolic meaning? Well, it depends on the marks it carries. If it is a 3 marker, you talk about, if it is not hinting you for any symbolism, you stay with literary meaning, whatever that particular poem represents. In case of the trees, it is like, जो ट्रीज में आपका लिटरल मीनिंग है कि ट्रीज आर कन्फाइंड एंड trees are somehow confined by the humans inside their houses, they are about to get freedom. And symbolic meaning hai, it talks about the liberalization of women, because the writer, the poet was a feminist. Anyway, we will deal with that. For now, try to talk about in a particular sequence. तो लाइन के नीचे कुछ भी नहीं लिखेंगे, लेफ्ट और राइट साइड में मार्जिन छोड़ेंगे, क्वेश्चन नंबर लिखना बिल्कुल नहीं भूलेंगे। Now, one more important query that I'm getting is, can you use any other color pens? Not at all. It's written very clearly in the admit card. Also, people have asked me that can we use blue color pencils to highlight? Well, I would very strongly say this. Every one of you should identify this. You should not write with pencils of different colors at all. It is only blue pen. Plus, you should not use any underlining techniques, because in English there is no underlining. In writing section or in grammar section, don't underline at all. It is done in subjects like science and social studies, not in English. In English, we underline only the fill in the blanks. If you have got grammar section, there are certain fill in the blanks given. You have to write the full sentence and underline the blank, and that is only with a blue pen or as directed by the board in the admit card. So read the admit card very carefully. Okay. Now, certain, I have mentioned it here, certain things which are not to be done. When you write your, suppose there is a question in writing section about writing letters. At times you get questions which talk about, it directs you that you are Rajesh or Rohini, you live in New Delhi, and write a letter to the editor or something, and write a letter. So there you are directed, you have to use the name which is given in the question. But there are some questions where you are not directed, it straight away asks you, can I underline the headings? Yes, you can underline the headings. We can't you underline using a pencil at all. Underline the heading. And at times people write the names of the poet, the names of the chapter, and they underline it. Don't do that. They write certain answers and they want to highlight certain points. They want the invigilator to see that first. It's not like that. Don't underline, it's a wrong strategy. Underlining is only done in the grammar section, in fill in the blanks, that too with a desired color of pen, which is there in the admit card. Read that. It is generally blue. Okay, don't use any other color. Blue ball point pen. Do we have okay. Sorry for that interruption. That was a technical glitch. Now, I will give you a 30-second very important rule. 30-second rule talks about spending 30 seconds at least with a question. And now it depends on your perception. If you are quite good at understanding things, it may be 20 seconds even, but not lesser than that, because at times people read the first few words and they assume, they start thinking on their own that, okay, I know this question, and they write the entire answer. If they are fortunate enough to see the question and maybe recover from that, fine enough. But most of the time, we don't have time at the end. So please read the question carefully till the very end and think about what is the question, what is actually being asked. Okay, so that will help you, because then it will talk about the content. It will talk about the content asked and the content given, because the major number of marks in every answer is based on content. And if your content is wrong, your accuracy, fluency, expression, everything goes away. So be very strong. 30 seconds is to be spent, and I'm MCQ both options and answers. Why people are so much confused, I really don't understand. MCQs. Suppose there is question number 1. Okay, I will come to Sagar. There is another question. We have been direct instructed to write title in the analytical paragraph, but the CBSE 24-25 clearly suggests the analytical paragraph does not carry a title. So could you please? Okay, if you are writing a paragraph, it should have a heading. How would a person know what it is talking about? So go with the instructions given to you in the class. Talk about it. Give a heading, underline it. That is the title. And there is no one without a name in this world. How can that paragraph be nameless? So please do that. All right. Okay. Where was I? 30-second rule and the content part and the relevance part. If you would be relevant enough, people would, means your answer would be right. Okay. Now, I have mentioned all the important things till now. Now we will go to the literature part. Or shall I take the reading comprehension? Reading comprehension. People are talking about, they have asked me this question, that competency based questions are quite troublesome. And it takes a lot of time if we are taking the comprehension questions. No doubt it will take time. My question to you. Now, here comes the question. The question is, have you practiced reading comprehension from the sample papers? You all take mobile all the time and see mimes and videos and I don't know what. Mimes name memes. Okay, please take some sample papers. If you have not taken any sample paper till now, please, please, we still have time. Take at least 2 to 3 reading comprehension examples done. If you will take that, you will feel confident. Competency based is competency based. You are competent enough to understand. You have been studying English for so long, man. Have the confidence in you. Read the text carefully, and when you read it, understand it. And then competency based is very, very simple. There's nothing. And don't panic. Don't panic at all. Just do some sample practice. Do some practice of reading comprehension, and then you will feel it light and easy. While we have discussed about what is actually the reading comprehension, first read the questions. Take a hint of what the reading passage is all about, then read the question. Spend a little amount of time in reading the question so that it gets imbibed in your head. Then it's of some use. फिर उसके बाद आप पूरा रीडिंग टेक्स्ट पढ़िए, ध्यान से धीरे धीरे पढ़िए, क्योंकि जल्दी जल्दी पढ़ेंगे तो वो जो क्वेश्चन आपने पढ़ा वो स्ट्राइक नहीं करेगा. आप धीरे धीरे समझते हुए पढ़िए. अगर 10 क्वेश्चन है तो 5 से 6 क्वेश्चन तो स्ट्राइक करेगा जब आप उस पर्टिकुलर कंटेंट पे पहुंचेंगे. राइट? सो टेक दैट लाइटली. इफ यू विल बी कॉन्फिडेंट, थिंग्स विल बिकम इजियर. ओके, सो डोंट यू वरी अबाउट रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन. थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस कीजिए. प्रैक्टिस की कमी है इसलिए ये सारे क्वेश्चंस उठ के आते हैं. फिर आए राइटिंग में. राइटिंग में लेटर है, लेटर राइटिंग है, वो मैं बता चुका हूं. नाम आपको अपना नहीं लिखना, एड्रेस अपना नहीं लिखना, ठीक है, मार्जिन छोड़ना ही है. एनालिटिकल पैराग्राफ है, हेडिंग देना है और एक पैराग्राफ है. इट टॉक्स अबाउट वन पैराग्राफ. एनालिटिकल पैराग्राफ, इट्स नॉट एन एसे और एन आर्टिकल, इट इज अ पैराग्राफ. Sir, I genuinely panic when things don't strike when I read a question. Okay, things might not strike, but then don't panic, because the moment you panic, whatever little amount of thing was there also goes away. Oh, well, leave it for that. Leave it for that. Leave some space for those 10 questions, maybe, and move to the next reading comprehension. Because things will become easier if you don't panic and take the questions lightly. It's just an exam and you have to do well. In order to do well, if you panic, you'll go away. Don't panic. Don't use any malpractice, but just get into it. Okay, so we were talking about literature, writing section, analytical paragraph. It is one paragraph. Okay, don't write multiple paragraph. So a heading and a paragraph, and that paragraph you have all practiced a lot. So it talks about uh, another question. Is there any question? पेपर अच्छा से करेक्ट कर दीजिएगा प्लीज. Okay, we are genuine enough to correct the paper. We are there to sit and give exams, but this sit and give marks to you, not deduct. So you write and you get it, but then to write you need to prepare, and this video is talking about how to prepare and come up with it. So writing section और grammar section में कोई problem है तो वो लिखिए. Right? The question in the reading section have same questions whose answers can't be traced in the comprehension. What to do in such cases? It's not possible. Questions are relevant to the passage given there. So it's just maybe your perception. You are not able to perceive. It's hidden inside, right? So you see that. You read it. Again, practice is the key. So we talk about writing section. Any problem in writing and grammar section? Then you can please type and let me know. Well, I have a very less number of people. People aren't interested or what? Sir, which section we should start with? I have talked about it in the beginning of the video. Later on, you see it. Will not waste time on that right now. Sir, कितना मार्क्स का छोड़ सकते हैं? आप मार्क्स एग्जाम ही मत दीजिए, छोड़ दीजिए पूरा. ये तो सवाल जायज नहीं है. थोड़ा सा जायज सवाल पूछिए. We are not wasting time here. Okay. All right. So लेटर राइटिंग है 4 तरह का, और एक एनालिटिकल पैराग्राफ है, और हो गया, और तो कुछ है नहीं. Alright, let's move to literature. Literature में हमें पता है there are 40 marks. There are 40. The section of literature section carries 40 marks, and it talks about two extracts are there of 5 marks each. One would be from prose and one would be from poems. You will have options there. So every question will have an option. Well, it's a very important question asked here. I like to deal with it. My friend Swamdeep asks, Sir, how much time should we spend on each section and question? See, if I will take them and I see the question, and if I am confident with literature, I will start with literature and try to finish in 1.5 hours. I will take 1.5 hours because there are two 6-marker questions and several 3-marker, 6 3-marker questions. So like to spend 6 to 7 minutes in 3 markers and at least 10 to 12 minutes in 6 markers. Make it 15 minutes in 6 markers. Because if you cannot combine questions in a beautiful way, you would not get 6 out of 6. So if you are looking for perfection, every answer should go for 15 minutes, and 1.5 hours at least for literature I will take, because that carries 40 marks as well. If I am able to get that 40 straight away, 38, 37 or though, literature, then the writing and grammar section is the second, which I'll try to finish it in 40 minutes. 40 minutes, so that I am left with 50 minutes, which I will consume in the reading section. Okay. But it's totally your particular stamina and strength and your capabilities, how much time you would give. Different people have different capabilities. Some are good writers, some are good readers, some are good thinkers. So it depends. You should take care of that. All right. Do we have to write separate headings in 6-marker comprehension comparison type question for 2 characters? Write separate? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No need to write separate headings. Just change the paragraph and it would do. Can I start with section A followed by A and C? Yes, you can. I thank you. I just wanted. Who is this? Sir. Tell me, ask a question if you want to. Okay. So, as I'm doing it in a small screen, man, so it's a bit troublesome for me to see all the messages that are being typed. No separate heading. But in 6 markers, one very common mistake that I find, every year I find it, and every year I tell my students, but I don't know why they don't follow. A 6 marker is a multi-paragraphed answer. It cannot be compiled in one paragraph. There you will lose marks. Right? So a 6 marker should be a multi-paragraph. I'll suggest you to go for 2 at least, or 3. Because that talks about 80 to 100, 120 words. You cannot compile 120 words in one paragraph. And never change paragraph in a short answer type question. It is one paragraph. People write 2, 3 lines and then they change, 2, 3 lines and then they change. Don't do that. Because a neat presentation makes the invigilator, the evaluator, the person who is checking it, very happy. And in a happy mood, काम अच्छा होता है. आपको सबको पता है काम बहुत अच्छा होता है. सर और कोई क्वेश्चन है किसी का? What do we if meaning of some words doesn't click? Then think. Okay, there is a particular technique. See, I'll tell you this technique. This is called inference. जब आप सेंटेंस पढ़ते हैं और आपको एक वर्ड समझ में नहीं आता, तो आप पूरा सेंटेंस पढ़िए. पूरा सेंटेंस को आप अगर समझ पा रहे हैं, सिर्फ एक वर्ड समझ नहीं आ रहा, तो गेस कीजिए कि उस वर्ड का उस सेंटेंस में क्या मीनिंग हो सकता है. नियरेस्ट गेस. 95% ऑफ द टाइम आपका आंसर सही होगा. तो वो वर्ड आप सेंटेंस में लगा हुआ है, वो वर्ड सेंटेंस को पढ़िए. सारे वर्ड्स आप जानते, सिर्फ वो नहीं जानते तो गैस हो जाएगा कि वो उसका मतलब क्या है. दिस इज कॉल्ड इन्फरेंस. In a letter to editor, should the subject be placed after salutation? Well, in on internet, you may find this variation that first the subject is written, then the salutation. Huh? Should the subject be placed after salutation? No, no, no. You will find this online, but don't do that. The format which is there, subject and then salutation, then the body comes in. सर कुड यू प्लीज, अरे थोड़ा स्लोली यार, इतना ज्यादा मैसेज करोगे तो कैसे हमको सुनाई देगा, इंसान है हम भी. ओके, सो कुड यू प्लीज सजेस्ट हाउ वी कैन अटेम्प्ट द quote based questions in passage? Quote based question I'm not able to understand, can you clarify? How can I improve my fluency and confidence in English written exam? Well, that needs practice. Sir, today is Black Day. I know, man. But don't worry about. Tomorrow is a golden day for you. If you start well, everything goes well, right? So I want you all to start in a good mood, good way, and get something better. So if you will strategize yourself according to time management, and if you will keep your paper neat and tidy, if you will do everything correctly, you will get good marks, and that will be the target. I hope all of you have that target, right? All right. So now, talking about literature section, two extracts, take that, 5 marks each, and then six questions of 3 marks each, and then two questions of 6 marks each. You will get a variety of choices, right? So please have a good contact with the chapters. You should have the idea of each chapter along with the message that it carries. I have told my students to prepare every chapter on 5 points. Talk about the importance of the title, talk about the writer poet, talk about the summary, talk about the theme, talk about the message, and at the end go through the question and pick up one important question that you feel is very important. Okay, so spend a good amount of time, write in a good way, content. If there is any specific chapter which you are confused with, you may ask me. I might help you with that. Sir, the question which consists of quotes, and we need to select the option with relevance to the passage. uh, लिख सकते हैं लेटर में, डायरी एंट्री लिख सकते हैं, अरे कुछ भी कर सकते हैं बच्चे आज के. ओके, एक बार फिर से पढ़ता हूँ. सर, द क्वेश्चन विच consists of quotes and we need to select the option with relevance to the passage. It depends on what is being written. I cannot answer you that then and there. Okay, so you take some samples, or maybe you connect to me, you can call me and talk to me about it, right? Okay, any specific chapter that you are confused with? People were saying a lot of names, I wrote them as well. How many paragraphs should we write in a letter? At least 3 paragraphs. Okay. Sir, could please explain the meaning of twilight, resilience of secrecy, and rebellion? Nelson Mandela. Well, see, we all know in that particular chapter it talks about discrimination, right? So blacks were discriminated badly. They were badly discriminated. They were not allowed to get in the city, you know. They lived in secrecy. And so they were rebellious. Now, this twilight means when someone is going to do things and things go bad. That is twilight. So here, everything was happening bad for those blacks. So that was what it talked about, twilight, existence of secrecy and rebellion. It talks about those black people who existed in a secrecy because they were excluded. And so the rebellion was there. Somehow we find the coming up of the rainbow gathering where the chapter starts. The Nelson Mandela went to that particular inauguration. That was the beginning of the black supremacy. But then they did not at all discriminate later on after Nelson Mandela was made the president. Okay, Arijit. Okay, we are not here with that. Ask about things if you are confused with. Tell the degree of model's power for grammar. Well, it carries a very high degree anyhow. Any particular chapter that you are confused with? I am looking at the messages. What's the meaning of mesmerizing? Well, this is not at all related to the chapter. I don't have the book in front of me here. If you have the book, if you have any specific query anywhere, you may ask me. No men are foreign. Doubtful. No men are foreign. Who has written no men are foreign? Tell me. प्रिंसिपल साहब बताइए, बताइए. आई एम वेटिंग. नो मैना फॉरेन का समरी है. इट्स जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट ब्रदरहुड. Okay, you can check a dictionary if you want. Eccentric. You will find bizarre things. You will find it. Don't waste my time here. People are waiting for something important. Okay, I am very fine. Thank you so much. Ujwal. Strange. What is so strange, Sagar? Could you please explain fog by Carl Sandburg? Like, what are the things the fog is compared to? Well, it's just compared to a cat. Simple. It's just comparing, giving a situation how the cat quietly settles down and is without making any noise, and then in a snap it's gone as well. We can't recognize it's coming, staying, and going, and the same fog does as well. Fog suddenly envelops the entire area. It's dense, deep, it stays for some time and then it vanishes. So it's a comparison done. Very beautiful poem by Carl Sandburg. I have a video on my channel. I have made a video on fog. You can check it. Explain the underlying theme of the poem regarding freedom and parental expectation. Please explain the underlying theme of the poem. Which poem? Amanda. Sir, we have been taught that fog is symbolic for problems in life. Well, see, if you compare things, everything is symbolic to something in our life. In the snow of dust, also, that particular shaking of the branch falling down of that sand on the shoulders of the poet is also symbolic. At times, very minute thing happens in our life and it creates a big difference. Like that falling of sand created a big difference in Robert Frost's life. So everything is symbolic. And yes, you can compare that as well. That fog is quite similar to a problem. It comes in no time and it stays and then it goes away as well. But I cannot relate how problems. But if it is said like that, you can go ahead with it. Realization of Kisa Gautami. Sir, your collar mic is not working. Okay, I have not put a collar mic. Okay, I will put a collar mic quickly. Don't worry. I think that would make things better and clear. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you for that suggestion, by the way. Any other thing? Could you please explain the realization of Kisa Gautami? Well, Kisa Gautami was a lady who was just a normal human being. She was very unhappy when her son died, and so she was just running around. And when Lord Buddha told her to bring uh, a handful of mustard seed from a house where no one has died, then she couldn't do that, right? We all know it. Now she was very disappointed that she didn't get it, and so she was tired as well. Whole day she had been doing it. So then what did she do? She sat on the side of the road. Sorry for the interruption. I'm back, and I think now the voice might be better and clear. Okay, so where were we? Kisa Gautami sat down, and then there was a street light beside her, and that was flickering, dim and glow, dim and glow, dim and glow. Well, that's not matching. It's dim and glow, dim and glow, dim and glow. Okay. When she looked at that, she realized that was the realization where she got that if this little light can survive here on this street, I am doing it like this. And also she realized that from that house, no house was there which had no one died in it. So that's the realization, and then she went to Lord Buddha and understood everything. That was the life realization. What's the relevance of the contrast between fog and the cat? What's the relevance of the contrast between fog and the cat? Well, yes, there are certain words in the poem, pause and all, that talks about a cat. And if you have not observed a cat, observe it. It is very quiet without making any noise. Otherwise, the rat would run away. All right. Could you please explain the realization? I have noticed some students are speaking nonsense here. Okay, don't worry about it. I don't know. There are various people from Koderma and from other places also. I don't know. There might be some people, as there are other message in the proposal. Sir, is there any other message in the proposal except showing the importance of wealth in making relation and Russian society? And he's a Russian poet, a Russian writer, Anton Chekhov, right? And we know the writers and poets are very much influenced by the place, by the era, by the rituals happening around them. And so he observed such things. That was the actual thing happening in Russia at that time. That people used to just marry in order to strengthen their property and money inherits and other things. So yes, it's showing the importance of wealth in making relationship, and that's what it is. People would marry rich people only in order to acquire more and more stuff, and that is what Anton Chekhov has tried to do. I don't understand reading comprehension. Practice it. Um, how to identify the tone of the descriptive paragraph? Descriptive paragraph is simply describing. What tone would you look at it? It depends on what it's describing. It may describe a variety of things and tones could be different. Explain what is the significance of argument over oxen meadows. Huh? What is the significance of the argument? It just tries to show that those people were finicky and they argued on petty things. They got deviated from what they wanted to talk about, and then they suddenly realized it. Then they wanted to do it, again they did not. So it was just a mockery done of the Russian society. Before every chapter, there's are they coming in exam? Well, it will be always be good to have more and more information about more and more things. So it's quite fine to have that knowledge, right? So I have nothing more to talk about, but if in case you have any specific chapter that you want to talk about, you may ask. No ways. Oh, okay. So I will just recall everything quickly and wrap up this video now because people are not looking for any specific queries. Sir, is there message was deleted? Why? Okay. So take admit card and the things mentioned properly in it. Be on time. Don't be late at all. Filling OMR sheet very carefully. If you are confused, ask somebody who could tell you the right thing, because once you make an error, there is no chance. See, tenses and modals, yes, why not? The questions are coming up. I don't know how to fill OMR. You may online check on certain OMRs. It will give you the image and it will give you videos also. So have a practice of filling OMR. Every school does so, and certain competitions also. So maybe that will be the best. You can on YouTube identify a video which tells you how OMR, there are circles to be filled in, darkened in. Okay, tenses. Let's take tenses. Tenses, there will definitely be a question of tenses and a direct and indirect speech also. Indirect and direct speech, I have made a video on that as well. Tenses also, I have several videos. You may go to my channel for that. Now, tenses, three tenses and 3 marks or 4 marks of question. It may talk about certain tenses which are confusing. Confusing in the sense past perfect tense. You need to know the structure of all the tenses, by the way. But if there are scenarios given and there are some tips that you have to see. If it is talking about continuous tense, it will have while or when. While or when in it. It talks about continuous tense. Two actions happening, one would be continuous. If it is present continuous, other would be simple present. If one is past continuous, the other would be simple past. Then talk about past perfect tense. It talks about two actions in the past. Both happened in the past. One was over and then the next happened. The one which was over will take past perfect. The one which takes. So again, you have to read, understand, and do it. Tenses, structures are to be done. You should know future continuous tenses. We will be studying, right? And if something is happening every time, it always takes simple present tense. The earth dash around the moon, the sun rotates, not is rotating. Yes, it is rotating, but this is something which happens all the time. So that is present simple. So tenses, it's a very, very big chapter, cannot be done here. But then I have made a video, you can go for it. Modals is simple. We can do it in 1 minute. Modals, there are certain moods that modals represent, and they are promise, will, shall, prohibition, must not, obligation, must. So you need to know the meaning. Obligation means आपको करना ही है, must. Prohibition आप नहीं कर सकते, निषेध, must not. Must को have to भी बोलते हैं, must not को have not to भी बोलते हैं. Anyway, we are going to grammar. Teaching you grammar here would not be so efficient. This class is for important stuff for tomorrow. All of you have been preparing, I know. So I was recapping everything, and now no more questions, please. I will recap now and finish it over. Admit card, time management, getting inside, OMR sheet, reading the question, taking any section of your choice, keeping all the questions of that section at one place, not writing at the bottom of the page or above it, using the margin, keeping left and right side both, no names and address in the letter that you will write. Analytical paragraph will have a heading. Don't underline at all, only underline in the writing section, fill in the blanks. Give separations, don't use any other color, not even blue pencil is not at all. It's a straight no, you must not use it. And then at the end, at least find 10 minutes to revise. Revision is a important thing, and that is to be done. Now here I'll just read some comments and then we'll let you go. Uh, I hope the session was helpful. If in case you have more queries, you may comment and I will hold another session maybe next year. Okay. I may hold another section at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the morning. You just message me and we'll see it. Right? Any more thing? Thank you for taking this session. Okay. Uh, Sir, in true false question, do we write the statement? It'll be better to write the statement, just writing true would not be beneficial. I would suggest you to write the sentence. Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, okay, thank you, Ayan. Thank you, Sagar. Thank you. We have to write question in true false. Yes. No, arre, don't write questions, man. People write questions also. Don't write questions. And one more thing, don't use any slang, gonna, wanna stuff. No, going to, want to. And then don't use any Hindi word at all, ever, anywhere. No Hindi word should be used. Maybe at times we do that. Don't use and most of the time. While writing something, don't use one word several places. That makes your writing monotonous. Uh, yes, underline using a pen. You can use pencils, normal graphite pencils. Uh, so the writing skill include in the blueprint we have to do by own. Writing skills included in the blueprint. Writing skills? Yeah, which writing skills are you talking about? We have 2 3 writing skills that we have done. Summarize the poem The Trees. Well, how many times? I think I should make a video on this also. The trees. The trees going outside the house of the poet. Poet is writing a letter, assuming that things would be better the next day. The poet is a feminist. What's the name of the poet? I don't remember her name right now. Green pen. Not at all. Okay, read the summary, and that's what we'll do. Now, here we'll talk about ending this session. Thank you very much for the questions that you have asked. It has made my session very lively. Though there were some miscreants creating disturbance. Somehow we did not pay heed to their questions. Anyway, thank you very much. And now I have to get out of this. How to get out of this? How to get out? I don't know. Just close it like this. End stream. End.